Improving academic outcomes in Oregon while putting a dent in mental health challenges among K through 12 students is Governor Kotek's aim, signing an executive order today banning cell phone use in school. Local school districts shared with us today how they'd go about implementing the order by January 1st. School districts across Oregon on notice Wednesday that cell phone use won't be allowed during the school day come January 1st. Springfield Public Schools and Eugene 4J say they support Governor Kotek, who signed an executive order Wednesday mandating the shift statewide.
Educators across the country have become more and more familiar and knowledgeable with how devices and the entire culture around being connected and being online, 24 hours a day has impacted these latest generations of children. And it's something that is a serious concern. We can see how it affects their distraction level, their ability to focus.
Both districts tell us they're awaiting policy guidance coming from the state to lead the way in crafting their own policy.
We appreciate Governor Kotek's leadership when it comes to maintaining safe classrooms throughout the state and including here at Springfield Public Schools. It's always a priority for us to have distraction-free schools and classrooms. And as we look for this guidance, the policy guidance around cell phones and electronic devices, that's really what we're looking for is what's the difference between that guidance and what we currently have in place.
The executive order wages a fight against the impacts of social media on developing minds, aiming to decrease loneliness, depression, anxiety, and self-harm among young people associated with cell phone use. According to the Centers for Disease Control, a survey done between July 2021 to December of 2023 showed children ages 12 to 17 spent an average of 4 hours or more a day on their cell phone. Parents we spoke with are on board with the change.
With my children, at their age, I think, technology in a sense is kind of, pulls away from their childhood. In a sense, I would like for them to enjoy more, of being a kid instead of, being caught up with the technology. But in a sense, I feel that, with some parents, it's also important to, to also keep track of their children.
I think it would reduce distractions in the school place, and maybe even you hear about bullying in school and cyberbullying, and maybe it would help with that as well.
For our family, we have 5 kids, and one of our biggest battle is with cell phone. We think not only at home but also at school they should put some kind of limitation.
Springfield Schools currently has limits on cell phone use, and 4J says elementary and middle schools already operate under this policy. But it will be high schools that will see a change as students are now able to use phones between classes. Any pushback expected, or how much?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's, for one, this is America in 2025. There's, you're always going to find folks who have strong sentiments about just about anything. And it's pretty typical that generally folks don't like to be told, what to do, especially if it's something that has otherwise kind of been something that they're used to doing.
4J tells us it may be possible to implement the new policy by the start of the school year, making it easier to adapt rather than changing things up in the middle of the year. And while January 1st is the effective date, policies must be adopted by October 31st. The order does leave room for exceptions based on medical conditions, individual education plans, and other individual circumstances that require phone use.